Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to start collecting Warhammer the Horus Heresy, and today we're going to take a look at the Legionis Hereticus for the Emperor's Children. Now this will be coming out very soon. These rules, you'll find them in the Exemplary Battles Volume 1, and they are going to give you some different options to play your Emperor's Children force in a more corrupted variety. So we're going to go through the special rules today for this force before looking at a couple of units we recommend to get started with, and then further exploring some other units after that to expand upon those first couple of initial purchases, and finally finishing off the video with a little standpoint army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own force of the Legionis Hereticus Emperor's Children in Warhammer the Horus Heresy. And so, to begin with, we get Lords of Profligacy. After a shooting attack has been resolved against a unit comprised entirely of models with the special rule, if that unit's not falling back, its controlling player can decide for that unit to become stupefied. If a unit becomes stupefied while pinned or affected by the blind or concussive special rules, it'll then ignore those effects while it is stupefied. What Stupefied does is, this does mean your models can only fire snapshots, so they can't make any reactions, and if they ever make a charge, they're always considered to be disordered. However, furthermore, while Stupefied, all models in a unit will increase their strength by +1, and when a model in a Stupefied unit suffers an unsaved wound, it can make a special Stupefied roll to ignore it. Stupefied rolls cannot be made against things with the instant death special rule, but you roll a d6 and on a 6+, you ignore the wound. This is increased to a 5+ if you have the fearless special rule, and you can only make one damage mitigation roll per model, as Stupefied is a damage mitigation roll as well itself. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, where to start? First of all, a Legion Champion, I think, is a fantastic place to start for your force. The Legion Champion is going to be a consulary upgrade you can take, and it's got a few special rules. So, first of all, you gain the ability to just turn to weapon skill 6, you'll get a Paragon Blade for free, and you get the Never Back Down special rule. This means you must issue and accept a challenge if either is a challenge to you, or if you're in combat and there is the chance to issue a challenge, you must do it. However, while this model is in a challenge, all friendly models in the same unit, and indeed the Legion Champion, will gain the Fearless special rule. This is really cool when we think about combining it with the Stupefied rule, when we consider we will now get the Stupefied roll on a 5+ instead of a 6+. Now, we do have a unit that I think is fantastic for putting alongside, and that is the Palatine Blades. They're all going to have as standard a variety of different charnable weapons, which are really nice. So this could be sabers, tabars, or glaives. Generally, these are all going to give you duelist edge and breaching of various different profiles as well. But on top of that, your Palatine Blades are going to be a pretty solid unit. They have Weapon Skill 5, Standard, and Ballistic Skill 5. You've got Chosen Warriors, Counterattack 1, and Skill Unmatched, which are all nice. Now, you can choose to upgrade and have some Phoenix weapons in there as well. Phoenix Power Spears and Phoenix Rapiers, which are specialist weapons to the Emperor's Children. You can also have a Plasma Pistol on the unit's leader, and they can also take surgical augments as well, which of course in a Legionis Hereticus force will become these special sort of mutations you can take for them instead. And so, where to go next? Tactical squads, for me, still have a good place inside the Legionis Hereticus force. They're going to give you, good backfield objective holders if you choose to take maybe some of the combat upgrades on them, like chain swords, of versions of their bayonets can be really nice as well, along with things like a power sword or something on the unit's leader. They can be a decently fighty unit. Not to mention the +1 strength they can get from Stupefied can be really good for actually turning combats in your favour, wounding your opponent on 3s of sort of equal tactical marines where your opponent is still winning on 4s can be a massive swing in your favour. Now, tactical squads, or indeed your Palatine Blades, may want a Rhino transport that can definitely help them get around to the battlefield to where they need to be. Or we can look at a unit that doesn't need a Rhino, and that is the Assault Squad. A unit that definitely gets a lot from this. You know, snapshots aren't always going to be a problem when you can have flamers and stuff like that on some of your weapons, but you've also got, you know, a decent combat profile here. You can have some of your weapons choose to be power weapons, which is really nice, 1 in every 5 models, and your sergeant on top of that. And you can also choose to have a couple of pistol weapons in there as well. I think they're a great choice for having a unit become stupefied and just go in and really start to put in some damage. Now, an interesting choice may be the Cacophony. Obviously, these guys are a dedicated shooting unit, so they do suffer a little bit if they want to go become stupefied. This does make them really decent objective holders in the backfield. A 3+ save with the Fearless rule as standard means if they are going to be shot at and your opponent starts targeting them, you can choose to go into stupefied to give them a little bit of extra protection and really start to hold down some of your backfield objectives. You've also obviously got the Cacophony weapons. These are 36-inch range at strength 6, assault 3, gets hot, shell shock, and deflagrate along with pinning. So it can be a really nice thing for locking your opponent down while your combat units move forward. Lastly, we have the Contemptor Dreadnought, a good solid option for some anti-tank. It's got a good combat profile. It can become stupefied itself, which is really interesting, considering, you know, it can have some flamer options, but also it can just go in and smash things in combat. Giving it an extra point of strength is always a fun thing to do. And so we have our sample force. Now we've gone with a Centurion who's going to be upgraded to the Champion. Obviously he'll get his Paragon Blade for free here as well. And we've gone the Paragon of Excellence Warlord trait. While any friendly model within 12 inches of the Warlord has joined, they can gain a +1 to their weapon skill until the end of the controlling player's turn, which can only be applied once per game, so it can be a nice little additional benefit, but also an additional reaction during the opponent's movement phase is really nice. This, of course, can then set you up for a good turn in your opponent's shooting phase to potentially activate Stupefied on the units that you need to, and keep those that you don't want to have to take any casualties for and don't want to stupefy, get them out of sort of harm's way. Be, you know, the most useful it can be. Now, we then have a Contemptor Dreadnought who's got a Power Fist with built-in ranged weapon, which will be a couple of melter guns. So we've gone for a double Power Fist on this, just giving us, you know, a complete combat monster. And then we've got a Havoc Launcher on top as well. Our Palatine Blade squad is going to have the sublingual glands, which is a really interesting upgrade for us, which is one of the Legionis Hereticus sort of enhancements that they can take on their units. What this one is going to do for us is it's going to allow us to have a additional little ranged weapon, a template weapon for each model in the unit, which I think is really fun. Just can make your Palatine Blades a little bit bigger of a threat, especially against, you know, sort of horde style units. But on top of that as well, the ranged attack has some really fun little abilities. It's going to give you Fleshbane and Blind on top. Now, we then have our Rhino Transport for them with a Hunter-Killer Missile, because we had a few extra points, why not? But a Dozer Blade, the most important upgrade you can ever take. The Palatine Prefector also has Melter Bombs for a little bit of anti-armor if needed. We then have an Assault Squad, which is going to have 2 Plasma Pistols and 2 Power Swords, along with a regular 5 set of Marines in there, and the Sergeant's going to have a Power Fist as well. A base squad of Tactical Marines, and then a Cacophony squad of 5 model strongs round out our force to a perfect 1,000 points. If you've got some ideas on how you'd build up your own Emperor's Children Legionis Hereticus force, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. You can use one of our affiliate links to Gap Games or Element Games if you're in Australia or the United Kingdom, or you can subscribe to our YouTube members or Patreon, or grab some merch from our merch stores on Teespring or Ko-fi. All the best ways to help support the channel. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patrons: Broken Chef, Andy C, Grimskull, Colorblind Magic, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, JJ Austrian, Cure Dynamic, Andrew Bowen, Outer and Shot First, Kenny Lowell and Soren. and to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lockloric, the Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle, and Gargamel196. Thank you all once again for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. And most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.